Good morning, mamas out there. I hope you guys are doing well. And hey, it's Saturday, so we've hit the weekend. Phew. I hope you're being able to get some rest and recharge for a new week next week now. Today is day 3 of our stay-at-home mom pep talk challenge. And like I talked about yesterday in the end of my video, is that we were talking about uh, getting organized today. And I know this is a big one, and this is one that I definitely have struggled with even before I became a mom. But I think as a stay at home mom now, and especially as also simultaneously being an entrepreneur, getting organized is very important, especially for, it's important for your mood for the day, for your family's mood and your energy. I mean, if you're overwhelmed and exasperated, then that energy can just feed out to the rest of your family, like your kids, like speaking of which, here's Linda, and your spouse, and especially if your spouse is sick, like I know with my husband, with epilepsy, you do not want to have stress. That is like the number one thing that you don't want. It does not make things any better. So anyway, also with that being said, and being a stay-at-home mom and being an entrepreneur, obviously you can't always work on projects for 8 hours or a long period of time at once, and that's okay. So what I have found is just doing little things throughout the day and just creating new little habits, so that way as you go throughout your day and go throughout your week, things are getting done a little bit at a time. You're chipping away, for lack of a better expression, and then it doesn't get to the point where it's so overwhelming that you feel like you're just drowning and you can't get that you haven't accomplished anything or can't get anything done. So let's talk about just cleaning and laundry for starters. Before I was a mom, I usually would, because I usually worked 4 days on and then I would have 2 days off. So my rule of thumb would be the first day off I would use to catch up on everything, housework, cleaning, things like that, bills if it was a payday. But obviously, as a mom, being a stay-at-home mom, and just with my life shifting with being a business, that has not necessarily worked. So what I do now is I just watch things. So every day, like when I'm in the kitchen, for example, one thing I've implemented is, instead of since my days for cleaning sometimes shift because of life happening, I've gotten in the habit, like every time I'm done cooking a meal, I wipe everything down. While I'm in the kitchen, I rinse all the dishes, put them into the dishwasher. I just don't set them there because, then they just pile up and then it's overwhelming when the sink is overfilling. I keep my disinfectant wipes around and just wipe down the counters, the sink, the stove every time after I'm done, just to keep things so they're not, so they're not getting overly sticky and gross and just overwhelming. So that way, when I do deep clean once or twice a week, if I have time, so that way on whenever my deep cleaning day is, it's not so overwhelming. It's not so chocked full of yuck. I keep an eye on the trash, make sure it's emptied out, at least, I watch it and empty it when it gets full. Laundry, I used to have a designated day for that, but obviously with having a little one now, I go through a lot more laundry now, or we do as a family. So instead of waiting for it to get overflowing and then we're just trying to do catch up, my rule of thumb of now is that I watch the baskets. When it gets to the point where we're about full, I just go ahead and get a load of laundry going. And because of that, I'm doing laundry throughout the week. So more than one day a week, I'm doing laundry. So that way I stay ahead. It doesn't get overflowing. I still do my rule of thumb of changing the linens out in the bathrooms and the kitchen once a week to rotate, just for freshness, sometimes more depending on what's going on. But that little tip has helped so much, because then that way we're not like walking into our rooms and the hamper's overflowing and then we're going, oh my gosh, it's just too much. I can't handle this. It's just too much. So that's another thing. Let's talk about finances, or just your to-do list. For me, I like keeping a notebook, and I label it. I have spirals for everything. Probably too many, but anyway. So one thing with me is I do better with repetition. So I do like to have stuff written down on a piece of paper, or I also lots of the time put stuff in my Google Calendar. That's another way that's awesome for me to keep track of stuff. But in terms of finances, right now I just pretty much keep it to a notebook. I have all of our bills. I break it down into a little chart with each month, and when things are due. I check it off when it's been paid, so I'm staying ahead. I have a file box where I keep all of our bills that we get paper wise, so I can keep a file folder going for when we pay them. So I put, like, the notification number, the amount I paid, and the date. So that way, if by some chance something happens with the payment or something, I can call them and say, hey, this is when I paid. Here's my confirmation number, and that gives them, information to go on to be able to approve and find out what's going on if there's a problem. Now, if I have a bill where I don't get a paper copy because it's cheaper sometimes with some bill companies now to go paperless, I make sure I've signed up for an account. And the cool thing about that is you can actually go back and it logs every time you pay, and it has the confirmation numbers. So if you need to, you can go back, look up a transaction, print it out if you need to, and then that way, again, if you need to call or email, you can verify that you paid. Here's the proof. Here's my confirmation number, my account number. It's just a nice way to kind of keep things organized. And also, too, sometimes with Gmail, when they send you the confirmation emails, throw it into a file folder. Have a designated email file folder so you can track that payment information, too. That's another way to keep track of stuff. With scheduling, there's a lot of stuff out there. I have really been shocked personally since I started my business how much organizational software is out there. It is insane. There's planners, both just digital and paper and software. It is insane. So don't get overwhelmed. But one of the simplest things that you can do that is for free and that really has helped me and that I love, Google Calendar. You can access it either on your phone or a computer. And what I love about it is I've been able to use it for my mastermind training, for my personal life, for my business. And the cool thing about Google Calendar is that when you go in, you can create tasks, reminders, events. You can call them appointments if you want, whatever. You can label it to repeat if you want. But the cool thing that I really love is that you can color code. So when you pull up your calendar, whether it's by day or week, either on your phone or your laptop, you can just look and know, like, okay, all the orange items are birthdays, or all the red items are tasks I need to get done today, each day, or blue is for a mastermind call I have, or green is for when I'm doing my office hours and working on my business. So however you want to do it, it has been a life changer for me. Like I said, I do better by writing things out in multiple ways for me to remember. I'm just that way. I can't look at something or remember something just by looking at it once. And this goes back to when I was a little girl too. So for me, it might sound OCD, but for me, it's just what makes me calm to be able to keep track of things. So I have two calendars, paper calendars. One I use for my office hours and just our general life for like any medical appointments, my husband's work schedule. So I know, so if I am needing to plan something for him and he needs to be aware of it as well, I make sure I don't plan it on a day that he works so that way he can be there. And then I have another one I keep for all my mastermind stuffs, for calls I'm helping run, or just stuff I want to attend, and that way I keep it clean and separate. But then on my Google Calendar I have two. I color code it. So like for example, my mastermind stuff, I keep a blue color. All the calls for that, whether I'm hosting it or I just want to attend it, that's that color. All my business stuff, I keep basil or green is my office hours, and then like all the stuff that I do underneath in terms of like when I do work on my business and for task oriented stuff broken down by hour, I use a gray, it's kind of like a gray black color, I guess, for lack of a better expression. But anyway, that is how I do things. And with Google Calendar too, you can also do notifications. So that's the other primary reason. So I usually have my stuff that I need to be aware of for the next day. I have it set up to be a notification a day ahead. I like to know what's coming a day ahead. So I'll set my schedule. In fact, I just did this last night, setting up my schedule for my work week for my work schedule for this week, this coming week. I was in there. I was scheduling everything to Monday through Saturday for this week, and then I put my notifications. And okay, ding, 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 ding. You know, I set it up to notify me a day in advance, so I always know what's going on. So anyway, that really helps me. So those are some tips. Obviously, take into account your family. You know your family and your situation better than anybody because you're the mama, you're the wife or partner, and you know your family better than anybody. So the idea here is, again, to not be overwhelmed thinking, oh gosh, I need to spend 8 hours a day working on something. No, you're a wife, you're a mom, and you're the wife or partner of a sick spouse. So that really changes things to a whole nother level. So just start making, I want you to start making 1 or 2 changes to your daily routine of things you can do to help you not be so overwhelmed. So, and I know sitting right here, I can look around and I see like a lot of decluttering projects or a lot of other things I want to do and tackle, but some days I know I can't, it's going to take a long length of time, and that's overwhelming. But here's the thing. Just pick one. Like the other day, so far in the last month, I've done 2 decluttering projects. I finally went through my my plastic container drawer, and I got rid of everything. I had so many mismatched pieces of plasticware that they're either broken, warped, didn't work. I threw them away, and then I set aside some money and bought some new Tupperware and got organized. So now I can actually open up that cupboard, and I'm not overwhelmed when I'm trying to cook or put leftovers away. It actually is functional for that cupboard. Also, I reorganized a cupboard because we don't have a pantry, we have a very small kitchen. I went through and I threw out a lot of stuff that was old and dated that I neglected. I know I'm stay-at-home mom honesty here. And I got some stuff in the store that was up to date and got organized, and I have a new system for how I organize that cupboard now. So that's okay. So in both of those projects I did in the span of like maybe half an hour. So and they were on different days when I had time when my husband was home. So take advantage of that. You know, just do little projects when you have time, because it can be satisfying and fulfilling, and it's a progress in the right direction to get your home under control so you aren't overwhelmed. So anyway, as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to direct message me. And just remember that you are doing the best you can. Take time for yourself. And now just start intentionally working on getting yourself organized so you're not so overwhelmed for both, not just you, but for your family as well. Because when you're overwhelmed and frustrated, that energy just goes around to everybody else in your family. And if you, especially like with me, with my husband having a condition where stress is like the worst thing that he could be having put on his shoulders, that doesn't need to happen. So anyway, take care. I will see you tomorrow for day 4 challenge. All right. And I'm still mulling it over about what I want to talk about, trying to decide. So this time I'm going to do a cliffhanger, and I'm not going to tell you. It's going to be a surprise. All right. Love you guys. Take care. Okay. How do I...